I think that the visions in the US are a lot bigger, right from the beginning. I think the whole culture in Europe is that you don't dare to dream as big as you do over here. So it's a little smaller. I think it's the culture and it's the size of the market. Like the US market is so big, you can do really, really good by just being here in the US. If you're in Europe, you have like whole Europe has the same size as the US, but there are a lot of different countries with different languages and stuff like that. So you basically stay in your own little country and then it's very difficult to go abroad. In the US, you have a much larger market.
Well, I think ultimately people are entrepreneurial or they're not. It depends really about the environment to support the ecosystem. And while in Europe there is a support ecosystem, but it's much more like formal from the government out, where here in the United States it's much more an informal network, but it's institutionalized because a lot of VCs and a lot of other entrepreneurs for so many years are already doing this. So it's really more organic here, where it's much more put in place in Europe in as far as it actually exists. The attitude to risk, ultimately, what you see is that in Europe people want immediately to see cash flows, they want immediately to have these customers. That's important, but sometimes an idea needs some time to really come to fruition. And what you have is there's too many little angels, but really little angels, who are afraid to lose too much too soon. And I can understand that, but it doesn't really help to come with big ideas, even though they look small, like Twitter. It's like 140 characters, but it's so viral. Something like that is very difficult to pull off in Europe. It has to have immediate monetization possibilities there. So I would say that's really the big difference with the United States.
I think it actually goes from like, actually I'm from Denmark, so it goes from like my market is the country I'm in to the world is my market, because there's no difference if I launch in Germany or in France or in Brazil. There's no difference because the challenges are more or less the same. Or in the US, for example, if I want to launch in the US, that's also the same as going to France.
What do you think what would you like to see different about the entrepreneurial community in Europe?
That we have more possibilities for funding, where people are more, you know, they believe in the vision, they dare to fund bigger visions. It's not just, you know, go with the conservative copycats or whatever.
It's getting much better than it used to be. It was really like fragmented and almost like hobby-esque in Belgium a couple of years ago. But then you have a number of initiatives that started sprouting up, I would say. And now we're in the phase where they really start working together to provide an end-to-end value chain of entrepreneurship, going from ideation. And there the Founder Institute is taking also a big part of it because they're global. But then there are others who take over. So ultimately you can end up into going really into production or become profitable. But it's not everything is there yet, but you see a movement and a willingness to collaborate towards that goal. So it's getting much better, but it's still not easy.